wait. What is there to say? There ain't a better time than today. Maybe I'll lay down for a little, instead of always trying to figure everything out. And all I do is say sorry. Half the time I don't even know what I'm saying it about. Good news, good news, good news, that's all they wanna hear. No, they don't like it when I'm done. But when I'm flying, no, it make them so uncomfortable, so different. What's the difference? When it ain't that bad, it could always be worse. I'm running out of gas, hardly anything left. Hope I make it home from work. I'm so tired of being so tired. Well, I gotta build something beautiful just to go set it on fire. No lie, but sometimes the truth don't sound like the truth. Maybe because it ain't. I just love the way it sound when I say it. Yeah, it's what I do. If you know me, it ain't anything new. Wake up to the moon. Haven't seen the sun in a while, but I heard the sky still blue. Yeah, I heard they don't talk about me too much no more. That's a problem with a closed door. Good news, good news, good news, that's all they wanna hear. No, they don't like it.
What's up, RCHS? I'm Cora.
And I'm Rochelle.
And this edition of Lines Live starts right now. Handbook cover submissions are due Thursday. These can be turned in to Mr. Mendoza or Miss Connolly.
Here is a video about gas prices.
Here's what drives oil prices. World affairs are just one of many factors that dictate oil prices. If you're in the world of oil, monitoring the ebbs and flows of crude prices is second nature. Most investors either follow WTI or Brent crude. Brent crude refers to oil from certain oil fields in the North Sea, and it's used as an international benchmark for oil prices. And West Texas Intermediate is one type of light crude that's drilled in the US and serves as a benchmark for US oil prices. If you're not an oil analyst, it may seem like a lot to keep up with. But regardless of which of those contracts you follow, the gist is the same for both. Oil prices are influenced by three major factors: supply, demand, and geopolitics. Supply and demand just has to do with how much oil is available and how badly people want it. Supply has historically been determined by countries that are part of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, also known as OPEC. But now, the United States is playing a bigger role in supply, thanks to the booming production from American shale fields. So, if major oil-producing countries are pumping out a lot of oil, the supply will be high. Just look at what happened in 2014.
At the OPEC meeting in November, Saudi Arabia made the decision that they were not going to cut back production. They were going to continue to produce at record high levels. At the same time, you had very robust output from the United States and from other producers around the world. It was more oil than the market needed.
Oil prices crashed as producers pumped more than the world could consume. OPEC was largely blamed for the free fall in oil prices because it refused to cut down its production. But OPEC said that U.S. shale drillers were to blame for pumping too much and that they should cut their production first. In 1973, Arab members of OPEC put an embargo against the United States as a retaliatory measure. After the embargo, the oil supply in the U.S. was so scarce and the demand was so high, it drove the price of oil to the point that gas stations began rationing gasoline. Demand, on the other hand, is determined by how much need there is for oil at a given time. Think of the need for things like heat, electricity, and transportation. The more economic growth a region sees, the more demand there will be for oil. And then there's the question of how the market will react to renewable energy.
A lot of this will be impacted by public policy, but at the end of the day, renewables can only displace hydrocarbons if it's economically feasible. Right now, renewables are still more expensive than hydrocarbons, so consumers aren't going to voluntarily make this switch.
Geopolitics. Remember how supply is determined by the big oil-producing countries? Well, if there's tension with one of those countries, like a major war or conflict, it could throw off the supply of oil, which would then alter the price of it.
Particularly when situations in the Middle East or other oil-rich regions of the world would flare up and there would be conflict, you would generally speaking see a little bit of an uptick in the price of oil as a result, just by virtue of the risk of supplies being disrupted or of means of transportation being disrupted, such as canal or pipelines or workers going on protests, things like that.
Prom court nominations are in all seniors' emails. These are available till Friday.
We will be having Dress Up Week next week to celebrate spring break. Monday is Pajama Day, Tuesday is Mismatch Day, Wednesday is Tacky Tourist Day, Thursday is USA Patriotism. Friday is Tie-Dye Day.
Today's lunch is stuffed crust pizza, tossed romaine salad, cooked carrots, fruit, and as always, milk.
The girls' tennis team will begin official practice on Monday from 3:45 to 5:45. See Mr. Riddell or Mrs. Edwards for more information.
If you missed NWEA testing, you will get a pass to take the test during SRT on Thursday, March 10th. Please show up with your Chromebook charged.
Here is Emma with weather.
Thanks, guys. Although we're missing the warm weather from this weekend, you can see that the west side's about 3 degrees warmer than it is here in Rushville. In Rushville, it's currently 37 with a high of 47 and a low of 32. Looking at the next 2 days, you can expect to see temperatures in the high 40s. Although the weekend's going to start out with it getting a little bit cooler on Saturday, it should be warm again by Sunday. Now that's it for me. Back to the desk.
We would like to wish a happy birthday to Emily Sadely and Chelsea Patterson.
That's it for this edition of Lions Live.
Have a great day, RCHS.